Hello, Bob.
Hi, Pete. How are you, mate?
Well, thank you. Now, do we call you Bob now we know everybody knows who you are? Are we stick to Bob, or are we going to go to your proper name?
You know what? I should have ran as Bob from the Dingle, because when I mentioned that, I used to say to people when I was canvassing, do you know Bob from the Dingle? Oh, yeah, he talks a lot of sense, Bob. I said, well, that's me. And he will actually shout, you're Bob from the Dingle. So I didn't realise how famous I am out there, Pete.
Well, what can I say?
So all credit to you, mate. Yeah. Well, no, I quite like being called Bob, to be honest.
All right, Bob. Bob it is.
No, but it is a bit schizophrenic, I must admit, Pete.
Did you enjoy the experience?
Well, I stood last time, didn't I? It was the second time I stood. The Echo didn't give it as much coverage this time. They gave it quite a bit. Did you capture any of it?
No, we don't touch it at all. And the reason we don't touch any of it, Bob, is simply because we haven't got the staff to do it. And you know yourself, you have to have certain times. We have to keep times when we're in Purda. And we haven't got the facilities that Merseyside have got, where they've got all that. We haven't got the staff.
Did you capture any of it personally? I mean, did you hear any of the debates? Or?
Oh, yeah, I watched your debate with Roger Phillips, the one that was...
Oh, that was quite lively.
Yeah.
He tried to control that, Roger, but, we've got to let free speech reign.
Well, no, he has to control it. He is bound to ridiculous rules in Purda where people can complain and sue. If there's, we have to keep a time log of how... It's crazy. It's crazy. But I understand the logic behind it, but it's crazy. So our company don't touch it, because we haven't got the staff. I mean, if you notice on the video, you'll see a woman pointing to him saying, time, all the time. That's the problem.
Who's the guy on your station? Is it Mike Coyle, is it?
That does the morning show, yeah.
Yeah, I did a 15-minute interview with him.
Yeah. Well, he did all really of them. He did them all, you see. He did 15 minutes with every one of them. So. Yeah,
that was a really good interview, that. But the Echo did a bit. I got a good article about the Roger Phillips debate there. The Echo covered that in an article. But last time, the Echo profiled all the candidates and did a nightly thing on themes of the campaign. But this time, they sort of sidestepped that. They did very little.
Well, they had a lot to do when you think of it, with the commissioner and also the elections and what was going on with Ken Livingstone. So, and you know yourself with the press, a story is sidestepped if something else is happening.
Well, yeah, it's amazing how much the media has changed in the last 4 years. The print media is going right to the back now, and everything's on the social media, isn't it? The internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a bit of TV coverage, but not much there. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I doubled my vote, so I've got to be happy with that. But there's going to be another election, I think, next year for the Mayor of Greater Liverpool.
Right.
Which will be an interesting one. The problem is, the bigger the election, the more deposit they demand, It's quite expensive to take part.
Well, doesn't your party pay for that?
They certainly, they'll make a substantial contribution, but it'll probably cost about $5,000 to stand next time.
Right. And what is the logic behind that? Is that to keep idiots out?
I think it's actually quite anti-democratic, because obviously the big parties can afford it easily. I think the smaller parties are good for democracy because they encourage debate. They bring issues to the fore that the big parties don't want to mention, would rather push aside, So I don't like it, really. I think, again, it's a form of control.
But if you didn't have to pay, wouldn't there be hundreds standing?
Yeah. I mean, you could say, I think £1,000 is a reasonable sum.
Right.
But, I stood for the police commission in 2011, and that was £5,000 just to stand.
Right.
Unfortunately, I got it back because I got a decent vote. But, you take a big risk, like in a smaller party. But,
why would you want to have been Commissioner of Police? What would you have done that would be so drastically different?
We're going back 4 years to that campaign. But, it's a question of how you focus resources, Pete, what you think the important issues are.
Right. So it's all about that you would have done.
Yeah, it's how you manage the police, how you manage the budget, and where you focus the resources.
Right.
I disagreed with Jane Kennedy on what her focus was.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the time, we had quite we crossed swords quite a lot in the debate. but obviously she won. And she won again, so she's still there.
Yep.
But it's amazing how much has changed in the last 4 weeks. I mean, Donald Trump was still a sort of peripheral figure. He thought he was unlikely to get the nomination, but now he's virtually shoe-in, isn't he?
Yeah.
For the Republican side.
And if he gets in, I think we've got major, major problems with the world.
Well, I think we've already got major problems with the world.
I really think we've got bigger problems than that, Bob. I really think he's a very, very, very dangerous man.
Well, I tend to think that Obama's been far too weak, and that's allowed all these dangerous forces to come to the fore, especially in the Middle East and whatever. And you need a strong president. You need someone to stamp down on these people and say, we're not prepared to accept it, you know. And I think, I mean, Ronald Reagan, he was sort of regarded as a scary figure before he got elected, but now people look back on him and say what a great president he was.
But he's not put any policies forward yet. All he's mentioned is the wall and Muslims. That's all he's mentioned.
No. I mean, if you look at it in depth, like he's talked about taxation, the economy, and trade a lot. You know, that's what's won him a lot of votes.
I must have missed all that. No, You actually believe that's what's won him vote, and not what everybody wants them to hear him say.
Yeah, because you see, in America, like over here, people haven't had a wage rise for 5 to 10 years, and they're really feeling the pressure of rising property prices, rising rents, and that they haven't got an income to cover it. And he's addressing these issues about jobs. And you see, one of the problems with jobs is if you allow uncontrolled mass immigration, the labour market gets saturated and people can't get well-paid jobs.
And you think building a wall between Mexico and America is going to stop them coming in? And
they've got to try and control immigration.
And he's expecting Mexico to pay for the wall.
Well, he's quite clever if you look at that.
Tell me what's clever about that, please.
Because America gives a lot of aid to Mexico, and basically he's trying to say to Mexico, you know that aid money we give to you, we're going to use that to build a wall instead.
Right, fine.
But you've got to have control of your borders.
That makes sense. But they'll find another way of getting in. They always will. Yeah,
but it's the scale, isn't it? The scale is it's gone up by an incredible number in a short space of time. I think Obama's encouraged mass immigration a bit like Tony Blair did. I mean, under Tony Blair, mass immigration went up tenfold in Britain, went up from 50,000 a year to 500,000. And then you get societal transformation like we've just seen in London, you know, with Sadiq Khan. We're a different society. And, you know, 10 years ago, you'd never got a Muslim mayor in London. But now we've got one.
With a huge vote.
Well, this is the Muslim bloc vote, isn't it? I mean, he's talking about racism against him. But his whole campaign was organised by a group called Operation Black Vote to mobilise Muslims and blacks to support him. Now, to me, that's double standards because that's a racist thing. I mean, imagine if Zach Goldsmith had an organisation called Operation White Vote. There would have been outrage. But he mobilised the ethnic minorities under this Operation Black Vote, and he got away with it. For me, he's intrinsically divisive straight away. And I think once he's in power now, he will run London in favour of the Muslims and the ethnic minorities.
Well, you would think that because you hate Muslims, so we wouldn't expect you to say anything else, Bob, than that.
Well, actually, Pete, you know, I love Muslims. I hate Islam. It's a big difference, that way. But what he'll do is, like, what I think Joe Anderson's doing in Liverpool, is that it'll give social housing to the immigrants above the local population.
I didn't know Joe was giving it to the immigrants.
You know what? I went out canvassing, and the stories I heard, Pete.
Really? But what about the facts, though? The facts, Bob.
Well, there was facts. I was speaking to people, Pete.
52%, 61, 52.61, 51,332. You got 2,590. Yeah.
But
it speaks for an awful lot, you know, Bob. Mr. Christian, lovely Bob.
Yeah, but Scouts
I heard your views on Roger's show, all about your Christian values. You ain't got any Christian values. You hate people. You hate other religions. You love the word hate. You do. You're a hater. You're as scary as Donald Trump.
No, Pete. I hate evil, but I mean, I love doing good.
But you're supposed to be a Christian. You're not supposed to hate anything. Christians don't hate. They love. Your God is a God of love, isn't he?
No, he hates sin.
Isn't he? I thought he was a God of love. I thought he forgave everybody.
Pete, you can't look.
Does he not forgive everybody? Have I been reading the scriptures wrong?
Well, Pete, if you murder someone, I mean, you're going to be punished, aren't you?
I thought Jesus forgave everybody.
Well, first of all, to be forgiven by Jesus, you've got to believe in Jesus, Pete. If you don't believe, he can't forgive you.
But he forgives you at the last minute. If you want to go and give your love to him, you can be forgiven.
Well, first of all, you've got to say that Jesus is Lord. You've got to submit to him. You've got to say that he's in charge and you're not in charge. And you've got to say that he's right and that you don't decide what's right. I mean, that's just...
No, you don't. They are, Bob. You've answered your own question. You don't. He does. Stop speaking for him. You are not a servant of God. You worship him and you believe in him, but stop speaking for him. You have no right to speak for him.
Well, Jesus, you speak out the gospel. Jesus commanded his people. He said, go forth and preach.
Nobody's ever proved to me that those words written in the Bible are genuine.
Yeah, but the words, well, you see, it's a matter of faith. You either believe them or you don't. I believe them, so I speak them.
Right, but other people who are Christians, you don't believe in their Christianity because it's different to your Christianity.
No, I'm not going to judge people, Pete.
You judge people all the time.
But, yeah, no, I judge what
you come on and do your Christian values and then slag people off in the name of Christianity. You do it all the time, Bob.
What I try and do, Pete, is expose evil, and there is evil going on. And
there's evil Christians! Millions of evil Christians!
Yeah, but at least they've got a conscience, and if that conscience pricked...
Oh, have they really got a conscience? So these people who are killing in the name of God are Christians, and they've got a conscience. They've got a conscience.
You don't kill in the name of Jesus, Pete.
Sorry, I thought you were bang on history. Didn't people go out in the Crusades to kill in the name of God?
Well, the Crusades, you go back a long way.
Yeah, but you're the one that brings up the past all the time. Every time you speak to a Muslim, you go back to the Crusades every time.
Well, I think we've got a right to defend ourselves. And if you've got a right to stand up to evil, I think actually you've got a duty to stand up.
But he is the God. It's his business, not yours. He is the ruler of all. He is the one, not you. Him. He's the one. You have no right to talk for him.
No, but he calls people to do his will.
Oh, like he called you to say, your mother said, you're going to die soon, you better make your peace with God because you're coming very shortly. I will never forgive you for saying that on air. People were disgusted at you over that. That was the most disgusting thing you have ever seen. How dare you do that? I will never forgive you for that.
I regard that as an act of love, mate.
I beg your pardon. Telling me I'm going to die and I better make peace with God.
Well, we're all going to die, Pete.
No, you said it's going to happen very soon.
Well, what is very soon? I mean, in the next 5 years, the next 10? I mean, it's time to make a decision. That's all I was saying. You've got your eternal future to consider. Do you want to go to be with Jesus or do you want to go into the hellfires? That's the choice the Bible gives us, Pete.
Well, I don't want to go to the hellfires because that's where you will be.
Well, no, but it's not your choice. It's Jesus' choice.
Well, they are.
You can't stand in the place of God.
You've answered my question. It's Jesus' choice. So stop making statements in his name. It's his choice. Everything is his choice. If he wants to accept Muslims, he'll accept Muslims. No. If he wants to accept Hindus, he'll accept Hindus. He is the ultimate power, not you, Bob.
But Jesus gives us guidance through life. He tells us...
No, you make your own guidance up. You bend it to suit you. You are a devious man who bends it to suit you in the name of your God.
I do, Pete, what I believe is authentic and honest.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you never get a lie from me, Pete. I would never lie to you, right? I would never tell. I say to you what I believe is true.
So you actually believe that my mother came to you? You honestly believe, hand on your heart, that my mother came to you?
Listen,
I just asked you a question. Say yes or no.
Absolutely, I do, Pete.
Right, but you're a liar. You're a blatant liar. You're a delusional man, and you're a liar.
Well, Pete, I'm just being honest with you. I was praying.
You're a liar. You're a liar. You're delusional. Let me ask you
this then, Pete.
You're delusional. Delusional. My mother wouldn't come to someone like you. She was a real Christian, my mother. My mother was a real Christian, and she would not go to you. You were the last person on God. She wouldn't spit on your shoe.
Do you believe that God still speaks to people, Pete?
No, I don't. Not in a million years.
So anyone who says that they've heard God or God has communicated to them, you're saying they're a liar?
Yes.
Well, that's you're being very judgmental there, but it's not up for you to make that judgment.
Are you for real? Are you for real? Are you on this? Are you in a movie or something?
So if someone
my mother came to you. Why would my mother come to you? One reason why my mother would come to you?
Because she cares about you and she wanted to meet you.
She wouldn't come to you. She'd go to
Why me? You can use anyone. I was just a messenger, Pete. She wasn't just.
You are not a messenger from my mother.
Yeah, well, Pete, I was being honest to you, mate. If you can't accept that, I'm not trying in any way to damage you. I was trying to help you. I was bringing a message of hope. I was bringing you a message of love, Pete. I wasn't trying to damage you in any way. So why? It was a nice thing that I had to say to you. I was offering you salvation. I said, Jesus is reaching out to you. Take his hand. That's the message I got when I was praying. It wasn't a harmful message, Pete. It was a message of love. And that's why you know it's real. Because when Jesus speaks, it is love that he's speaking. And you know it was real because it affected your soul, Pete. You told me you couldn't sleep that night. You tossed and turned.
Because somebody told me I was about to. Because somebody told me I was about to die. Wouldn't you? Do you think that was not?
We're all about to die. I mean,
you don't understand it. You've got to die. You actually pick what you want to hear, and you pick what you want to say.
Pete, do you want to go to heaven or do you want to go to hell?
I don't want to go anywhere because I don't believe in it.
Okay, so when you die, do you believe your mother's in heaven now, or do you believe she's just disappeared, or what?
No, it's just disappeared.
Where's your mum?
Just disappeared.
Where is she?
Just disappeared.
Is she in heaven?
Just disappeared, gone back to the earth.
What if she is in heaven with Jesus? Wouldn't you like to be with her again, Pete? No, really, I'm asking an authentic question now. If she's in heaven with Jesus now, and she's in bliss, and she wants you to be with her, wouldn't you want to respond to that call?
And what about all the people I hate that have died? I'm with them as well?
No, because you let go of hate. You're in heaven. You're in a different realm. Peter says there's no more crying there. There's no more dying there. It's the end of worldly sorrows. You're in a place of joy with the Lord. That's what a heaven is, Pete. So when you go there, it's a transformation. You're no longer under any judgment. There's no sin there. You go into you'll have a new body. You'll be in a perfect realm with Jesus. You'll be at peace, eternal peace. So you won't have to worry about all these issues, other people, hatred or whatever. You can lay all that aside, Pete, because these are contentions of this world where people are fighting over things of this world. But I'm talking about eternity, Pete. I'm talking about beyond this world, a different realm, a different dimension. And when you're going to find out when you die, there's going to be a moment of judgment. The Bible makes that clear. And God will either accept you or reject you, and it will be based on one criteria, whether you accept the call of Jesus or not, whether you respond in your heart to the call of Jesus. If you reject Jesus, well, then you go to hell because that's where you want to go. You don't want to spend eternity with Jesus. But if you accept him, his hand that is reaching out to you, and take his hand, you go to be in eternity with him. And you'll go and be in a place of bliss. And that's what he's offering you.
And what about all the other religions? The millions and millions that don't believe in Jesus?
Well, Jesus is the key of it all, Pete. He came, he's the only one who gave his life for us all. He went to the cross.
That's in your eyes. That's in your eyes, not with all the other religions.
Well, you see, it wasn't an act of evil. He didn't like...
So you're saying all Hindus... Are you saying all Hindus are evil?
No, what I'm saying is that Jesus gave his life for Hindus. He gave his life. He didn't go and kill Hindus or condemn them. He said, he gave his life to give them an opportunity to go meet with God. Because there's a lot of things in other religions which God doesn't like.
Right, you give me some proof of God. Give me one reason. One bit of real proof, evidence.
Every breath you breathe, Pete, is through the grace of God. Really? Creation itself was called out by God.
Where did that come from, that statement?
It's what I believe in my heart, you know.
No, but that's not proof for me. I want some proof.
You know, for me, life, when I look at the sky and I see the blue sky and the beautiful sun and the white clouds, and I think that's the beauty of creation. Why is creation so beautiful, Pete?
What do you say to people that say people like you are brainwashed?
What I'm saying is that I've got joy in my heart, Pete. I've had beautiful things in my life. I feel blessed by God. Every day I wake up, I don't feel condemned in life. I know life's tough and for everybody, and we've got to, go through the daily drudge and whatever. But there's an inner joy which keeps bubbling up in my heart since I got faith. Before I had faith, I didn't have a Pete. And there's a peace in my heart that it doesn't matter what the world throws at me, and it will throw all sorts of things at you. It doesn't break that peace inside, because that peace comes from God. And I know above all that God loves me. so that whatever threats, I mean, I get threatened, and you just shout it at me, whatever. But I'm not looking for esteem in other people, Pete. I know that God loves me, and that's all that matters to me, Pete. And I walk as a child of God's love, and I know that love, nothing can take it away, and it's going to last for all eternity. Beyond all this life, it's forever. Nothing can separate you from the love of God. So when you're walking with that love and that joy and peace, you're thinking, wow, I'm a winner in life. I'm not a loser. I'm a winner. And it doesn't matter what the world throws at you, Pete, what judgments they make. They can't break that power that God gives you. That power that that God is with you and he's on your side and he's going to fight for you, mate, because you're his child and you're precious to him. And he's going to really, it doesn't matter what you face in life, sickness, poverty, even death. Job in the Bible says, even though you slay me. I mean, there's Christians being martyred now in the Middle East. They're having their heads chopped off.
Along with Muslims.
Yes, sadly, yeah, along with Muslims. You're right.